Now,
There we
live,
go. All right,
live action.
welcome. Welcome everyone to the Late Sesh. Got Spartan and Big Pone tonight. We're gonna get Fergoli in here though. He had to put on some fucking clothes. Uh, but yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be a small crew
we're trying to
tonight.
keep it
So we're gonna
decent.
shoot
It
the
is a late
shit.
sesh.
Yeah, we do need clothes to be YouTube approved. Cheers, Kurt.
Cheers, everybody.
Otherwise, I don't know if I wouldn't wear a shirt, but
I think
I
I'm
imagine
lagging
you
back.
might once or twice. Yeah, I don't see you're not lagging on my end.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'll just pretend like I'm not then.
Yeah, do that. I never lag. I never lag, but I
But
might just
so what do
I
you?
might not have internet. It's either I don't have internet or I have good internet, but never in
Well, that's good.
between.
It's nothing in between. It's only super good or nothing.
Check out the Reptar.
That is pretty fucking styling, man. I have to say.
Yeah, I already got noticed by anything gross. She knows good shirts when she sees them.
I was
I was
bitching.
just telling him
Yeah, I
about
was
the shirt.
bitching pre-show though. That I was like, the only thing I can bitch about is no hood on that shirt.
Yeah, it's a long sleeve with no hoodie. Say you can't do it, but I say I can.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
was a
that's fucked up.
clearance, $9, people. Check the clearance racks.
Yep. I like to do that. I like to check the clearance racks first anyway.
Rusty's getting his spring garden ready. Some
Oh, he's
tomatoes and pepper seeds. It sounds like.
getting a good jump on it.
Yeah. Well, I got the HVAC guy coming tomorrow morning to get that hose we could get out or get to.
Fish out that hose.
Yeah. So he's gonna get that. So we'll be
So he's gonna hook that up to the drain tube, and then you're just gonna have to take it from there.
yeah,
Is
I
that?
already figured out. I found
We should have
there's
did that in
these.
the flower room. We should have just like did a dry run in there because that one's out, right?
Yeah, we could have, but I've already turned those things on.
Oh,
I
you
just
have?
turned them off after like a 5 minutes. I felt them get hot, and then I was like, all
Oh, they're
right,
heating up.
I don't want it to. I don't know if it condensates when it makes heat, but I don't want it to drain all over inside the unit. So I turned them off. But yeah, we could do a trial run, hook up some hose to the flower room. But yeah, so I got that tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna mud and paint those walls we put up. Oh, there's Red and Becca.
Tomorrow morning.
We gotta
Oh,
use
tomorrow morning
Okay. Oh, he's coming out tomorrow
the
morning. You mean?
HVAC's coming. So tomorrow evening I'm gonna mud those walls we put up, paint them, and we'll get that timer box on the walls this weekend, or at least by Thursday, Friday.
And then we'll be able
So
to plug the lights in, put some plants up, probably by the
yep,
end of the weekend.
yeah, because I have
Right.
I have a humidifier. And actually, I have a dehumidifier. It just doesn't have a pump. The one I'm using it right here behind the wall. That's just in the basement.
What do you mean it doesn't
But
have? Oh, it doesn't have a pump.
it doesn't have a pump, so
It
we'd
just
have to
shoots out the
manually
side.
drain it. Yeah, or it shoots outside, but that's not a big deal. I got shelves galore. We could put it on a shelf
Yeah, but
and
you
have
can
it
put one of
drain.
those. You put it up on. Put the side discharge on. Put it up on something. I built something out of. I just built a wood box to set mine on it, and then put a 5 gallon bucket underneath that side discharge, and it gives you 5 gallons better than whatever the little 2 or 3 gallon fucking res they put on your actual
Yeah,
unit.
at least till I can get to the store and get one with a pump.
Oh, it's missing the thing.
But yeah, so
Um,
yeah, this weekend we'll probably be running veg, getting the indigo ready, maybe popping if as after a day or two and we know it's decent, temperature wise, humidity wise, we're gonna pop
After we get all the big plants in there, and they're in there, and we got the room stabilized, then bring the small ones. I think.
yeah, well they're not small anymore. They're
Oh, I
like
mean like the seeds. Like if you're gonna pop anything
oh
else, what do that
yeah,
at
I
the
was gonna
end.
say pop the triple burger. But yeah, so that's exciting. Everything will be pretty much running. this week for veg and flour. Technically, we just won't have anything really to put in there.
But the weight, yeah.
I got shit we could put in there, but it's like, I'm not mismatching a run and getting shit started like that. Let's start it right with like one mono.
At least the
strain.
light's worth.
Yeah.
Or tables worth.
Here's Daddy Red.
Hey, Daddy Red.
Here's Daddy Red. Here's anything, bro.
And Mama Red are down there in Florida. So shout out to my family down in Florida.
Oh shoot, Daddy Red's on his own.
Uncle Red and Auntie Red and
all the Reds.
All the Reds. They're all down there. They're down in the Panhandle. Not in the Panhandle. They're down in the peninsula, down on the West Coast.
Nice.
That's the Panhandle.
The Globetrotters, man.
Was that right about that? Was that the Pan? I thought the Panhandle was the top part.
No, the Panhandle would be like the Gulf Coast, pretty much. But like,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
that's where your hand would go, wherever your hand would go, on the because
where exactly is the pan? What is the pan?
The pan. It's not shaped right, but the pan is like
the whole country.
The shaft.
Shaft.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's what the part that extends left and goes kind of towards Alabama and you know, that's your handle.
That's the handle. That's
so if your hand was grabbing it,
yeah, that's
where
not
in the Gulf of Mexico.
No, they're down the.
Oh, okay. So they're in the nice area, like waters.
Yeah.
They're near Sarasota, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Sarasota. Yeah, that's nice. Oh.
Tampa, Sarasota, Bradenton.
All right, we are 7 minutes in, Red, and you haven't said a fucking thing about the concert last night. Well, how did that go, man?
Oh yeah, let's hear about it.
It was probably the best show I've ever been to, like ever.
The only words that will ever explain it are never miss a Sunday show. So miss a Sunday show. We didn't miss the Sunday show. Really lucked out, man. Bob Weir tickets and Billy String tickets. Billy String's coming to Pine Knob in like June, I think, mid-June. Both sets of tickets went on sale at the exact same time. So I had both windows pulled up. I was able to get tickets, general admission tickets, nonetheless, for both concerts. Now, general admission is like one of two different things, depending on where you are, right? General admission at the Fillmore means that you're on the floor. You can walk all the way up to the stage if you get there early enough and ride the rail. General admission at Pine Knob means that you're on the hill up in the nosebleeds. So, like, depending on where you're at, general admission kind of means one or the other. But usually it just means first come, first serve. Go wherever you want. Pick a spot, hang out and chill. At the Fillmore, that's what we got tickets for. And come to find out, it was a sold-out show, and tickets were going for a couple $100, but that's not what they were selling for initially. Like, we got GA tickets for like $30 a piece. And it sounds like people were getting seats after that for like a good couple $100. Like, that's what ends up happening when the people start scalping tickets, man, and it's a sold out show. Same deal going with Billy Strings. Billy Strings was down in Nashville for 2 nights, playing out that big ass new Nashville arena that was one of his goals. So shout out to him, since it's part of the conversation. But Bob Weir and the Wolf Brothers, man, if you guys get a chance to go see this collaboration while they're still around, the Wolf Pack is like maybe like a seven part orchestrated. There's a handful of string instruments, a handful of brass horns. Last night they had a famous Detroit saxophone musician. What was his name?
Dave
McMurray, and he's done some other stuff with probably Dead and Company and in the Wolfpack in the past, but just threw it down, man. What brought me on to the Wolfpack in the first place was the fact that Bob Weir, if you're a Deadhead, you might know that Dead and Company has not played Weather Report Suite, which is, if you all know Lovin' in Her Eyes, who makes wonderful seeds to the cannabis community. She has awesome Steal Your Face logo. Lovin' in Her Eyes is one of the lyrics in one of the lines in Weather Report Suite is "The Lovin' in Her Eyes." So it's a lot of like dead culture in the cannabis scene, but that's one of those songs you just don't really hear. It's kind of like getting struck by lightning twice. Now, Dead and Company will play its follow-up, which is Weather Report Suite, which goes into Let It Grow, which us being on the verge of, get it going farmers, that's kind of our new motto into this year. Last year was if you build it, they will come. And this year is basically Let It Grow. And they did Weather Report Suite into Let It Grow, striking us with lightning. As we also got a loser, a Stella Blue, a fantastic, the other one, and dude, just they led off with Bobby shaking a tambourine, Samson and Delilah, and they finished with a Broke Down Palace, which is reminiscent of I was wearing Bob Weir and the Campfire Band tour. The last time I saw my homie who famously had the Granddaddy Purple, the Flow, and all those other wonderful strains. Last time I saw him was at the Campfire tour in Chicago when I saw Bob Weir there. Nice little intimate setting. And I purchased that shirt there, and I also saw my homie there for one of the last times. I just coincidentally ran into him at that show. They finished that show with Broke Down Palace, as well as one of our beautiful friends sang that at his funeral. So tons of serendipitous moments as those concerts seem to always sort of bring out. But yeah, it was a great time, man. I like I said, never missed a Sunday show, and like I think the only thing that I could do is just take a photo, a snapshot, because there's like more words than that I could probably even continue.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, Red, and I want to hear more, but I gotta check in here. Your mic is very crackly, and I know I'm not the only one hearing it. Maybe try restarting whatever device
it
you're
did,
on.
Yeah, it wasn't doing that when we first got on.
It wasn't.
It just randomly started. So
let's try to log in.
If Becca could grab the router and just kind of hold it.
We can't log into Instagram on the computer for some reason, so we got to figure it out.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
well, we are logged into Instagram on the computer. For some reason, Google Chrome doesn't want us to log into Instagram, so we can't log in.
Just go incognito, Control-Shift-N, and that should like reset any kind of settings you have. You might be able to log in that way.
Okay, we'll be back.
Okay, good luck.
Well, otherwise, I'm on the.
Otherwise, just turn it off and turn it back on again. That's
yeah, the old power cycle.
Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe how many I working back in like the business marketing days, like I had clients that would come to me with questions, and it's like, well, just I realize you guys have spent the first half of your day on this, but have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again, which is like it's a literal meme, but it works.
A literal insult.
Yeah. But it works.
Some people.
People just don't know though. You know what I mean? And so I had a couple of them do it, and it's
but I hate when I
show up.
I tell them, hey, I've done this, I've power cycled, I've done this, and now I'm hitting you up. And then they'll come at me and it'll be like, oh, so you didn't read my message. You're asking me to power cycle or something. But,
well, it's good. Yeah. I feel you from your
side. But it works
on
so many things. Like, I went to mechanic school for a bit, and I remember the first thing that the guy teaches you, it's kind of like a jokey kind of thing, but he's like, oh, first thing you should do if you break down on the side of the road, unhook the battery for, a minute or two. Let it all the computer and everything reset, and then hook it back up. Because most of the time with these new, all these electronic parts,
that's on newer cars.
Well, it's the last 20 years.
Okay.
Just unhook I don't forget now. Positive. I think the negative. I don't know.
I just go ahead and unhook them both. It doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter as long as
it's disconnected, because that's what it is. You could do the same thing with a Chromecast, your smart TV, a PC, anything.
Exactly.
What it's doing is when you're turning the power off, just power cycling something, having like your computer shut down and turn back on again. It's not really resetting anything. It's just recycling everything. But when you power something off and actually like pull the power out, like unplug it for 30 seconds or maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes sometimes. That's why like your router will tell you to actually unplug it for 30 seconds. It's because what it's doing is when you're pulling the power out, it's actually pulling the power, a very low voltage power out of the RAM. And the RAM is what's storing that memory. And that memory will remember the next time you cycle that power back on to give it certain settings. But if you actually like pull the power out and don't give it that ability to remember it, then that's when you're able to kind of recycle those settings.
Yeah, like what is it on the motherboards now? They have a CMOS.
Yeah.
So they have a little battery that if you don't take that out, you're not resetting much. So, but yeah. Oh,
well, shoot, all the processing powers in the GPU nowadays, you know. I didn't hear any crackling.
No video.
I don't have any video. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it'll magically appear.
There they are.
He's on mobile this time. Oh
no, we were on mobile last time too. We can't log in on our computer.
Huh? What is it telling you?
We can't log in on Streamlabs or on Google Chrome. It says there's a problem logging in. Try again soon.
Have you tried like Firefox or, I mean, dare I say,
no? We have
something
to use.
Like that?
Do you want me
to Chrome to get on Streamlabs for some reason? They won't let us use like our normal browser.
So do you have the? Are you able to access
email?
the link?
Do you have an email? I can send you an email.
You're not able to get into Streamlabs, is what you're saying? Because I'm confused.
They're not able to log into Instagram to get the link, right?
No,
we have to get it on your PC.
We
just copy and paste an email to yourself.
No, what he's saying is he's got to have Chrome open to run Streamlabs. Is what he's saying.
But Chrome's not letting you log in to your Google account, or
no. Hold on, guys.
Okay.
I have to log into Chrome to go into Instagram to get the link from Instagram. I cannot get into Instagram on Google Chrome.
Oh, you have your Instagram attached to Chrome?
Well, as of up until just now when I tried to log in, all I had to do was click the Instagram icon and it would automatically. I was permanently logged in. I never had to.
Yeah.
It's only like 10 characters. Just type it in, and I know you're capitalizing some, and like
none of my accounts have worked.
You sound fine now, though, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true. We're trying to defeat a problem.
Now you're fine. So who cares? But
that's really odd, though.
I can get on Instagram on my normal browser, which is Safari, but I can't get on
Google's being
whatever Chrome's doing, it's not letting any of us log in. It doesn't even say like your password's not working. It just says that like it's like not working and try again soon.
Try clearing.
Can't you copy the link and send it to yourself?
Hold on.
Because you don't need to log into Streamlabs to actually connect to what we're doing here.
I used to never even be logged in.
I literally don't have a Streamlabs account.
Yeah.
Why?
That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
if it's just the link, you can just manually.
I'm trying.
That's an email.
Yeah. We'll let you figure that out.
I mean, it's only like 10 characters after Streamlabs.com or whatever it is. I think they can manage.
Should I say it right now?
No, yeah, maybe. I mean, why not? We'll probably get like 3 people in here, right?
See what happens. Then you get the guy with no shirt.
It's the late sesh. Hey, that was
exactly
15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Literally was. But
all right, they're back.
Hey,
yo.
It's not gonna work either. We're gonna shut that.
Sweet. I hear you. I see you.
Yep.
No crackles.
Right?
Yeah, I like the purple plant.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think it's just an old purple light.
Yeah, I got it from my little cousin. She's trying to like make some money for a spring break trip, and she had a light, and I was like, my house plants could always use some more lights. I'll buy that.
Nice.
So I've got so I would love to go on a spring break trip, and I have a bunch of these like HID hoods. They're called Magnum Triple XLs. I got some low profiles. We got some Legacy.
Are you selling
HID
hoods
bells. Yeah, I'm trying to raise money to go to Florida. All right, I got a family now.
We just
why is Florida the number one destination for Michiganders?
Because it's just
not
I've never been.
$5. You don't even have to fly. You just
majority of them will be like, What? Yeah, but there's Georgia, South Carolina, there's Texas, there's all those states down there with beaches and California.
Yeah, I've got two.
Okay, California and
Magnum
Texas are
XL
very
hoods,
far
8
away.
inch. If you catch me before I get to them, you can get the glass with them. I have 4 6-inch ones without the glass because I'm probably gonna use the glass.
Mine are all 8-inch. They're high value for commercial level growing.
Mine are the same 8-inch. Don't get them wrong.
Thing.
The same 8-inch XL Magnum.
Wait, is yours an XL or triple XL?
I believe
yours
red
profile or low profile.
But there is still glass on mine.
Yeah,
if you get them before I turn them into hot houses, cold frames, the other side.
He also has a mini split that can cool that thing down for you.
If you want a 5-ton mini split, brand new,
5 ton.
2 of them bad boys.
LG. Life's good.
Warranty
2 of them. They're twins,
suckers,
man.
or?
2 of them.
Yeah.
They fall off the back of a truck, or?
I wish I got them that way.
Well, I don't think it'd be. Well, maybe it would be solid. I guess
it'd be a lot cheaper that way.
It would have been a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah. How many heads is on that thing?
I have 5.
5. Holy moly!
Wow.
You could do 5 rooms off of that.
Yeah, 54,000 BTUs per. They're dual fan units. They're as tall as I am. They're fucking
yeah.
They're recommended to have a slab for them to be put on. You know, so if you already have like a driveway or something.
I bet we'd even deliver them for free.
Bet we would. If you're in Michigan, most certainly, or in Ohio, probably get you.
That's a
yeah, but we have 5 heads for each of them, all brand new in boxes. 12,000 BTU, 12,000 BTU with heat pumps. So they're not only cool.
Depending on how many lights.
Somebody needs
that's
these
like
out
3
here.
rooms for some of us.
Oh yeah, dude, that's what we were trying to set up. I was trying to set up 3 rooms. Actually,
sounds about right.
Trying to set up 4 rooms with those bad boys, and it was about to happen until I got a better deal on some forced air HVAC, and it transparency. It's difficult to find an installer for LG. That's just what it is. Like, not a normal HVAC guy can install these LG units. For some reason, it's a coding thing. Like, you need to know how to code these things, and unfortunately, it's like a proprietary thing. Maybe there's some HVAC dudes.
I found an HVAC guy.
Know how to do it.
Then got a mini split because I was like, I'm gonna see what he recommends and see what, because he lives around here, so it's like
a lot of HVAC guys just won't recommend.
He's not your electrician guy.
Yeah.
Right. They are different, but I have so a friend of mine, his name may or may not be Medgrower1. You guys may have heard of him. He got the same Quest unit as I did because we were working with a Quest through the Grow Tube, and I paid to have
what unit? DHU?
Well, I got the 185 and then hold on, let me think. 185 and then I think the 185 cool and then the 155, I think. And I think he ended up down the road getting a 185 as well. And he had someone that was certified to do HVAC, but had no, these are not your typical units. Like, it's a standard. It's not a standard, but it's a similar concept to a what's the word with the heads out,
condensed
mini splits, a mini split. Yeah, it's a very similar concept to a mini split. In that it's adding a little bit of cooling BTUs inside. It's condensing the air, has that outside, and it's pushing all that force air outside to cool that. The Freon that's running through the tubes, it's a very similar concept. But if you've never ran one of these and set them up, there's no standard other than the manual you're getting. And so he just had me take a picture of the wiring on mine and send it to him, and then that was all you needed. You know what I mean? So if you're able to find someone that's at least to run the lines, because that is the tricky part, running vacuum pumps and running Freon. That's the wiring is kind of, in my opinion, the easy part, but it's the other stuff that scares me, even though that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. My HVAC guy, he does the stuff at Mitten, so like he's real good, and he does. I found out this year that he does. That's who we call for DHU crap. So he knows how to fix all the Andons and Quests. We had to change some parts in there.
You know, I'm surprised. Ending in Quest now that they're owned by the same company, Sylvain.
Oh.
I'm surprised they don't have some sort of certification program out there. You know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
at least the states that have commercial facilities.
You would think that.
Yeah, maybe it's just everyone has their own guy kind of thing, and they've figured it out at this point. But man, they missed the missed the boat on that one.
My buddy
Yeah,
got
it's
certified.
interesting.
My buddy got certified in HVAC, and that's kind of his big thing is he kind of is trying to specialize in grow rooms and stuff, and he's been working, you know, for a long time. He was working with Organica, helping him build out all of his grow rooms for his medical projects, and that's who's working up with Freedom Green Farms and has Detroit Nuggets and all of that stuff. And I'm not sure if he's been also doing all of the you know, odd man carpentry, including the HVAC stuff, but he's the same dude that installed my train unit here on this house, man. Fucking runs like a train, dude. He gave me an awesome fucking deal on a train furnace and a air conditioner.
Okay, so we're not talking model trains. I just wanted to clarify.
No, he's talking
me, dude.
Because I could see you getting into it, you know.
Cranks. And then, yeah, I got a really good deal on the forced air units that I have out at the farm. And then at one point, one of the like A coils ended up going out on me, and my buddy ended up coming through and fixing that all up for me in like no time. And he like knows his way around. What's nice is like getting somebody that knows their way around plants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like one thing is an HVAC dude coming in and like doing the thing, but another thing is like HVAC dude knows how to like wipe his feet off and like do some other just little random like considerate things, like, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like shut the door behind him when the lights are
off. Our dude that comes through at work, we would make him wear a Tyvek.
Yeah,
but he has no problem.
You gotta make them, but yeah.
I mean, we've had to have people like they're like, oh no, dude, I'm good. I swear to God, this one dude said, I'm good. I came from my grows today.
Oh wow, nice.
I had
okay.
Yeah,
That makes it worse.
Gas line while I had a crop going one time, and like the guy came in, like I got down to like covering everything with a fucking tarp and like doing this whole
there.
Drilling in the ceiling, fucking fiberglass and shit was going everywhere. I ended up covering my entire crop. Like I had all my trellises like moved together and like just created this huge tent inside my grow room with just big ass tarp, and it worked, you know, for the day. And I actually just ran the dehumidifier under there and a couple fans, and it was totally fine.
Yeah,
dude, I used to hide all that. Like, you know, we're talking about moving plants and stuff, and I know everyone's situation is different, but like at a certain point and a certain legality and a certain culture shift, and honestly a certain kind of eyewitness situation in which I had, you know, DT or consumers or whomever it was come out and had to basically fix a transformer, and, you know, very quickly realized what was going on. And, you know, I was just honest with him, and he's like, dude, it's fine. He's like, I see grows all the time. I literally have seen 3 today. In fact, that's a majority of what I work on is grow rooms. He's like, we don't care, just pay your bills, you know. And that's it's kind of what it comes down to. And I was like, all right, cool, dude, good to know, because I was a little worried to see you up on a truck above my grow room, like looking at stuff, you know. But like, it is what it is. You got to get the power going.
Yeah,
I had my roof done this year in September. You know what September is, right? And I hadn't cropped down yet, and I mean, I had harvested everything except my cannabis. You know what I mean? So there was like,
the roof at the farm
out there. There was just there was just cannabis plants all up my yard, and there was a whole bunch of strangers, not even from around, not even a business from around here. It was like a business from Ohio that I got to do my roof, and they came through, and you know, I trusted them enough to get up there. They've seen enough fucking weed gardens in people's backyards. You know what I mean? let them do their thing. And, fortunately I was able to harvest my garden.
Yeah, it's just such a non-issue nowadays, and I would say it's been like that for at least 5 years. I don't know if like maybe recreational coming about had a little bit of additional change in the culture, if you will, but I've never heard one guy, like one contractor or whatever that's worked on my grow room, come over and be surprised. Like never once. It's always the 100th time they've walked in.
Yeah.
When I was doing small jobs with my buddy who does carpentry, HVAC work and stuff like that, I would do roofing, and like I would like help him fix flooring and just random jobs, man. And we were doing this one job. We were replacing a subfloor in like a bathroom and a kitchen, and just going in and out of this house all day. And I kept taking cigarette breaks by this fence. And I kept looking through this fence, and there was just this nice, beautiful little garden of a whole bunch of little cannabis plants. And there was a bunch of males. I remember seeing a whole bunch of little males. It was almost like they didn't really know what they were growing, but like I was kind of like looking at them and like doing the thing, just to like get a little glimpse, because I was like kind of curious, big time. Like I had only like barely got my toes in the water with growing. And at some point throughout the day, the plants disappear. I think they put them inside. They probably were just doing light dep in their shed or something. But I was like, I think I spooked them out by looking at the plants. I think they thought I was going to try to rip them off, but I didn't have any use for them. Fucking A, man. They're everywhere, dude. I used to see plants just doing small jobs like that. Everybody's growing a garden. For Grola, you're muted. Heads up.
I know. I'm having a side combo. Sorry.
Not allowed.
I see Baked over there basking in his attention for his new shirt.
I like it. I got the Reptar on it.
I tried to match,
It's got a Reptar, and it's got is that Stimpy or Ren?
I think that's. Oh, actually, I don't know. I think it's red, right?
I think that's Ren.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to correct us. And then it's got some chick that's skateboarding. I don't know. Is that Rocket Power?
I have no idea on that one.
I don't remember a chick skateboarding.
That one.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, he said that's Ren. So, yeah, I saw this shirt. I snagged it. Everything from winter's going on sale. So
clearance, man.
Big facts.
Gotta get that stuff in the off season like that.
What's crazy is the off seasons are just regular season, because they start selling the stuff for the season like 3 months before it should be out.
Yeah. Because that's Michigan. We have 4 seasons every 3 months, and
yeah, it's like, what the hell's all this shit all the time? Just put the clearance tag on it, and I might give it a look.
Get rid of some stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't have much new in the garden still.
I'm about to flip a lot of my crosses that I made. Well, the Vortex, the Project V, and then I got one of those. And I got 2 Snow Devils and 2 Spartan Pukes, and they're all going in.
Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to see those Spartan Pukes.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited about the Snow Devils, honestly. I think they're the don't sleep on the Snow Devil, man.
What's the Snow Devil? Snowcade?
Snowcane Spartan Cut cross.
The one you just said you were tired of?
The Snowcane, yeah, the thing I like about the Snowcane was the structure and the level of frost and how it's a good hasher. What I thought was the takeaway was it had terps, but they were like super subtle. Like a gassy strawberry is kind of what I got. So I think to improve it would be terps, and I think Vortex brings terps, like it smashes terps. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that combo. Excited. I don't know why I'm overconfident, because I haven't even grown the plant, so it's kind of foolish. But I'm overconfident that I'm going to find a seed amongst that cross better than the Spartan Cut. So that's why I didn't continue the Spartan Cut.
Yeah.
The last one's hanging in my garden, right in my dry room right now.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. I'm excited watching a ton of people. Shout out everybody. There's a couple people in chat talking about different seeds that they're growing that I've got out to them. But I love seeing that, man.
That's real neat.
Yeah, I just love seeing other people growing them and seeing the expressions and the things that they get. Getting the reports back about how many males, how many females, or some people struggling and they're coming back, or other people's just having great success early on. Or there's just so many variables and they're all getting tested all at once, and it's fucking awesome to see.
So
if you're impatient, and
I know who I'm asking, but with so many variables and so much testing going on, are you recording any of this data?
Fuck no. Why would I record it? For what reason?
Yeah, are you kidding?
Yeah, it's in the DMs, guys.
Yeah, I mean, what good would that do me? I don't. It's wasted time.
Just looking at charts, I'm freaking. I won't say it.
Yeah, the answer is no. No, I'm not. I haven't really written anything down or whatever. I'm just kind of taking the farmer's glance at it. I'm like, yeah, sounds good. You good? I'm good. Okay.
Regurgitating the information. I feel you, dude. How many strains did you put out there?
So that's a good question. That is a good question because I selectively put some out. So what the whole thing was I wanted, first and foremost, I wanted to preserve one of my favorite subcool strains, and that's Vortex. And I was lucky enough to run across the pack of it, so I did a little open pollination project. So the very most seeds that I have are from that project. So it's going to be just Vortex F2. I'm not really sure. I haven't really talked to an official breeder or whatever to tell me, or geneticist to tell me, do you call it something different if you have an open pollination where you can't really discern the difference between the males? Would that still be considered F2, or is that called something different?
Is it all
or when you select the male and you select the female and you make an F2, we all understand that's an F2. But is it still called an F2 when it's,
if it's from the same
strain? It's technically still an F2.
Yeah, if it's from the same strain, but you're saying open pollination. You had all the
open pollination means multiple males and multiple females in the same room.
But of the same strain of Vortex, right?
Different phenols, yeah.
Yeah, so those are still F2s. It's just a open pollination, so it's not, you're not getting it down to all right, I have one male and I want to select it with.
No, but what I'm saying is as a breeder, I feel that it's my duty to a customer, if I choose to sell the seeds, to let them know that this is an open pollination. There's going to be more variation than what you would see as if it was a selected.
That's fair.
Pollination. So I don't know what that is. Specific. Yeah, so that's why I keep saying open pollination, because I don't know any other way to denote, hey, this is going to be more variable, because that was kind of the idea. I wanted to open up. I want all of what Vortex is. I want all of that expressed in it, and I couldn't do it right with fucking 50 seed packs because I didn't have 50 seed packs, right? So I did what I had. So
I think you're right in doing that, and I think that's kind of like the only other way to say that it's open. I mean, there's no really other way to explain.
Yeah, I think it's perfect, dude.
Open pollination. It's really what you have to. I mean, you could say multiple males, but I mean,
wait.
Let's just.
What are we trying to decipher? What these seeds are?
Yeah, like I couldn't just. I would be correct to say, I think, that they would be Vortex F2s, yes. But the region,
the F1s.
Why? Because they were created by two F1s of the same strain.
No, you have a mom and a pop.
No, I have two moms and two pops in the same room.
It's a orgy, a gang,
and they're all F1s, and they all made seed, and those seeds are F2s.
The chart, well, I guess, yeah. I think you just have a huge amount of F1s.
No,
the charts on here are starting with mom and pop
a back cross
and a line of F1s.
So what I did was I had so the mom and pop. I didn't have the mom or the pop. I had the offspring. I had the offspring of Space Queen and
the
Apollo 13.
Yeah, so those are the F1s, right? The offspring is the
F1. I thought we were talking Vortex.
Yeah, so Vortex. So that made Vortex.
Yeah.
Vortex F1s. I got a pack of those seeds. I
So
got two
yeah,
males.
yeah, you popped a pack making Vortex parents.
Yeah,
Those
those are
parents
F1 parents.
fucked,
But those, yeah,
and
And
then
they
they made
produced F2.
F1s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at this.
you
Here,
go
I'll bring
F1
it
to
up.
F1. Then you're saying F1s can make F1s.
The
Is what you're
Spartans
telling me.
opening up the variation from the space.
I mean, if it's an F1, it's an F1 of. You have to call it an F1 Space Queen and whatever. You
Right,
can't
because
say
F1 is vortex times
You-
vortex, whereas you have Space Queen times something else, and you have that. That's the first generation, but it's not an F1 of vortex.
'cause look,
I
over
have
here.
Vortex pack. I had
Plant-
TGA pack that said
parent
Vortex
one
on it.
male, parent one female,
Right.
but you actually have P1, 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 P1.
Right.
Then they all
P1,
fucked,
P2,
and you
P2.
just have a long ass line of F1s you're about to pop.
No, I think the P1 is Space Queen and
That,
Oh, well, then you have to go further to Seed Finder, and this is actually like F5 because Space Queen
Right.
and whatever aren't actually.
No,
You have to
that-
go all the
right.
way
that would
to
be- that would be
Afghanistan
continued with Space.
or Colombian or whatever.
no,
it
what
is.
Red's saying is in that P1, we know that Vortex is the F1, and we know that we took those F1s. We took those F1s Vortex. P1 would be the two parent strains.
Mhm.
All right, hang
F1 is
on.
the
Let's
F1 Vortex that you pop from the seed.
Let's go see if
when
I
you stay within the vortex. When you stay within what you have from vortex, that's F1, F2, F3.
Yeah.
Breeding vortex. But what you're doing is you're opening up the DNA, the genetics from the original Space Queen and whatever the other cross. What's the other cross? Space Queen.
but
Apollo 13 is
but
Space
look
Queen.
at Space Queen. Space Queen is Romulans times C99, so that
Right,
makes Space Queen an F2.
No. If you would have stayed with trying to do Space Queen, if you would have went back and used maybe Space Queen again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's starting a vortex.
Right. So vortex.
So that therefore makes him at an F1 stage with the seeds
vortex
he
is
has.
the F1, and then
No, he popped all the F1s of Vortex.
right.
Yeah, I popped a pack of Vortex seeds. Those are
Made
F1.
Not
F2.
according to the chart, you made parents.
When you pop seeds, those are all parent seeds. See, those aren't F1s that you're popping.
You stayed within the line of the vortex and didn't bring in anything new.
This is why I'm
Parents.
not a breeder.
It starts up here with parents, and the parent isn't the parent. It was not. You can't say this is the parent
Go
of
back
a
to that.
vortex.
Go back to the original screen. See how it looks like it's
Parent.
like, is that denoting that it's two different fucking strains?
No, that's denoting it's two different parents. You had a male and a female.
Space Queen.
Which means
So
we can start that
so
anywhere.
Space Queen or what is
Let's
it?
look up the definition of F1. How about we just start with that?
Okay, all right.
Rather
Yeah.
than try to like denote based on infographics, because we could just argue however we want to.
I think there's a point for either way. Like basically
Right.
saying that the parents are the
That's
same.
Well,
why I think
either way,
definitely-
what I did was I said fuck all that. And I called it Project V. I called it
Right.
Project V, and
This
that's what I
is
called
my
it. Because I could
B2
see
bomb.
all kinds of arguments happening from the name, so I wasn't even gonna approach it. And so
There,
that's
yeah,
what Project V is.
that's an interesting thing too with some breeders, right? Where they just label it as what the parents are, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna put a name on this, and it's kind of confusing though. It's where do you go from there? If you're trying to like establish that strain as something, as a product,
Yeah, and if you're not really looking for anything specific and you're just opening up the genetic, like what he did is he opened up not just the genetics of the Space Queen and the Apollo 13, but by doing that, he opened up whatever genetics make up the Space Queen and whatever genetics make up the Apollo 13, which you now might find within that F2 line. Because you didn't.
This is the first time I've ever been told that when I pop up a pack of seeds, they're not F1s, and those seeds are P1s.
This is
I've
the
never been told that before.
biologicaldictionary.net. The F1 generation refers to the first filial generation. Filial generations are the nomenclature given to subsequent sets of offspring from controlled or observed reproduction. Your controlled or observed reproduction was you.
No.
Two
That's
and
what he would
and
receive. The seeds was under an observed controlled reproduction, wasn't it? Like, can you? That's the thing.
well, then I gotta go back to my original thing, whereas we gotta travel all the way back, and
right.
it's really like
this
an
is why it's
F8.
really
Yeah,
challenging.
like
basically, it's not
you
going to be a
know,
2. It's going to be
Okay,
a.
so what is the
No,
definition of a back
you
cross?
have to have the same strain, so that's why I'm saying he's
Right.
starting in
That's-
F1.
Can we define back cross?
No, it wouldn't be an F8. You're not.
Back cross involves oh yeah, I guess let's look up back cross.
Is it the same thing as crossing two strains? Because are we just moving into back cross territory, and maybe this isn't an F2, F3, F whatever argument?
The back cross didn't come up on that website.
So like, okay, so F1, F2, F3 is like making selections with the same stock. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have a mom,
filial generation.
You take that offspring and you grow it again. You take that offspring and you grow it again. You take that offspring without introducing any new genetics. You know what I mean? You work with the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So he made the parents by popping the seeds of Space Queen and whatever, aka Vortex.
Yeah, so you had Space Queen, which is a bunch of stuff, Space Queen, right? And then you had Apollo 13, which is a bunch of stuff. Then you got Apollo 13, none of which were like, some of them might have been F4s because they were worked lines. Some of them, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they are. That was just
eventually they get to where you have two separate genetic pools coming together, being the Space Queen and the Apollo 13, and then what you have now is called Vortex, right? We'll just call it whatever, but that is now the F1. And now what ends up happening is now we're not bringing in we're not going back to the Colombian, we're not bringing in anything new, we're sticking within that line. Now we're making the F2. Now we're making, because we're not bringing back an Apollo 13. We're not bringing.
You have to make the F. You have to make the F1 first. Out of that is what that's.
The parents in the diagram are Space Queen and Apollo 13. Those are the parents. The seeds that he got are the F1s.
Right. And then
breeding those together creates
the F2s. Right. I think that's what Bake said from the start. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, 5.
Spartan, you're muted.
That's the big argument, is that's what me and Red were saying from the beginning, but Baked is saying no, you don't.
I don't. Yeah, I think he's at F1. The seeds he's about to pop are F1 because he had a mom and a pop. Therefore, that's the first That's the first his
mom and pop were.
I get what you guys are now saying. You're putting the mom and pop as Space Queen and Apollo, which I guess you could look at. We need to get a professional on
are we looking
genealogy.
Are we even looking at the right chart? Because there's F1 and S1.
Plant.
Is this an S1 situation where
no, there's no selfing?
Well, then it would have said S. It would have said S then.
Right, that's why I'm asking.
And
I know those charts are different. How is selfing different from like a filial
generation?
Yeah, basically a son and daughter, I think is what that means. Like a siblings from
So selfing, all I know is selfing, you take the same plant, like the exact same plant.
Well, that's like colloidal silver and all that.
And you have to manipulate it and then hit it to itself in one way or the other, whether you have two of the same clones you're
just using hormones. You're blocking,
and then slap it to the other.
So not at all what we're talking about here, because we're talking about seeds.
No, and then you're stuck with female genes, so it's all feminized.
So if you see an S1, you generally can assume femmes.
It's female.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see an S1, you can generally assume a self femme, which should replicate the original mother more.
So let's define this real quick and just hear me out. An F means it's a filial, which means it's the son and daughter of a pair of plants, or even let's call it one plant. Let's just call it a mother. Let's just start there, right?
No, it has to be a pair.
Well, no, we know how that's reproduced, but like okay. So the seeds come. Okay, so we have the seeds, right? That is those seeds that came from that pair are F1 because they are the same batch, the same generation, the same parents, they came out of the same womb, if you will, as each other. So that's F1. If you pop those seeds together,
Right.
which is what we're doing here, right?
Right.
And you're creating a second generation of, is that considered filial, right?
Because you didn't bring in another set of genetics.
Yeah.
You stayed within those vortex.
Right.
Now you're fucking brothers to sisters.
But if you took a
and yes, then yeah, that's what you have to do to get to F3.
That's what I did.
Right.
Yeah. So I no, I get what y'all are saying.
but let's
And I'm
let's
probably
say-
wrong, but like I'm wondering now. It's literally a matter of are you considering who's the parents?
Let's take
Right. Yeah. And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know what the academics choose, and I guess it doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Let's take it a step further and take that selected F2. Now that Spartan's going to grow out some more seeds from this vortex, and he takes that F2 seed. Let's say he finds a new male out of that, and he takes a new male out of that F2, and he goes back to the original vortex clone that he had.
Yeah.
It's that gives you the vortex back cross, because now he's gone down a couple.
That's the back cross. That's a good way of explaining the back cross.
He's selected within the vortex.
Yeah, you liked the first one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or I could go down to like 3, 4.
That would be BX.
4, right?
And then you have S, or if you're ethos, you have I think R. He does or something like that.
And the reason you would do a back cross, to my understanding, is to bring vigor back. So as you go further down the generations, you get stability because you keep picking. You keep selecting for what you're looking for. As once you get down there, though, the plant, because of all that brother fucking,
little instability.
Fucking, you're my sister. You're my sister.
That gets the genetics a little weak, and so the idea is once you've got that perfect plant, so you've got it bred to exactly the way you want it, then you go back to the parent. Like for example,
go back to
I've got pollen from the vortex male from that open pollination. I selected the male I like the best and the female I like the best, and I took clones of them, and I flowered out of the male and collected pollen. And I have a jar of its pollen in the freezer that I could fucking within a year could back cross using that.
So this is one of the things we haven't defined. Is we've defined F1 and S1 and back cross and all this, but we have not defined what a P is, right? A P1, P2, where these original parents come from. We kind of assumed it's Space Queen, and we assumed it's.
Well, that's why I think it's based on what you want.
And this is exactly what I want to bring up. Is literally a P, a parent cross. Is you are picking a male and a female, two parents, to cross to make a specific batch of seeds, which is your F1s, right? So they have done that with the Space Queen and the Apollo 13 to create those seeds, right? So that is the parent seeds. You do have the F1 generation. But if you were to pick one female and one male out of that batch, which you didn't initially, you had we'll call it an orgy, right? That would essentially be an F2 generation.
No, I did pick them out of that same batch. I picked the clones off of those plants.
I thought you had multiple males and multiple females.
Yeah, I would have to say if you had multiple.
I had multiple. I had 2 males and 2 females.
Right.
In the,
so that
in the
can't
I
be
did do that, and I
P.
did the other thing. And another, I took clones off of the selected male and the selected female, we'll call it.
Right. Which then you'd be resetting to a P environment. But that second batch, that batch of seeds you created is F2.
Yes. I see.
All batch of seeds that I created, in my opinion, are F2.
Now, if you want to go off of semantics, technically, off of semantics only, Spartan created F1s, right? And if you want to just say that everything you throw, you just put seeds together and made it F1s. Semantics.
I don't think that's true though, because the P generation has to be one male, one female. You can't be an orgy party.
And that's what he had.
Yeah,
he was a male and a female. So
I would argue though that only one pollen from one male pollinated one seed from one female, and it was still the exact same. That seed is still genetically.
Yeah, but is there a way for you to know what seed got pollinated from what male?
No. Not
because there's multiple males and multiple females. That's
Right.
what I think
That's
he's
what
getting
kills
at.
the
Is
P2,
I think
the
if
P1.
an academic came in here, they would be like,
Well,
well,
yeah.
yeah, you
Last
don't
night's
know.
conversation.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. Therefore, now you're at F1. But if you, that's all, because
Okay, I'm sharing my
it's
screen
an
real quick.
orgy. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna share my screen. This is these are pigeons, right? And I don't know where the F2 generator. I guess I don't or no, I was reading that as F3. So pigeons, right? You have one male, one female, we'll call it. They create this batch of seeds that he got, and then he created this batch of seeds that we would call an F2. But see, even right here, they're selecting it. So he had this orgy of seeds. Is it even considered an F2 then? Because okay, let me scroll back up.
You didn't have a.
Especially when it's only
That shows he didn't have an orgy on F1s. He
Right.
selected two F1s.
That's why I wanted to scroll back up, because they had the definition.
But let me put it to you this way. What if you had 12 males and 12 females in the same room?
That's a whole lot different than just,
Is it though? Because we're talking
Yeah.
about millions of pollen
Yeah, because I'm
particles.
talking about different genetic sequences. Each plant has a different genetic sequence.
Yeah, that would just be a stronger diversity. That would just give you more.
Yeah, it would be a better project. I mean, if I had the ability to, I would have tried to do that.
It give you a stronger product for sure. That's what happens in the wild. Think of a field, there's
But think about reproducing that.
Female.
You would never be able to be like, oh yeah, it was from this, this is the male that made that smell. Or
So this says the P1 and P2 are not related to each other. So that might be a key factor there.
That's the
So
space.
that means it's got to be the
space
space
and the
queen.
Apollo. Yeah,
Oh,
Right.
right.
I was trying
that's
to
what
say
it sounds
too,
like from there.
without
So,
It sounds
then,
like he
yeah,
created
then you're at
F2.
F2s.
easy words.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I had a better pigeon orgy for you guys.
Different genetics, as I was saying, two different genetics. I don't mean like CBD and THC. I mean like two like different, whatever, like Colombian and Afghani, like whatever, two different cannabis
Like
from different parts of the world, and then coming together, they have whatever different phenotypical variances, whatever. They're gonna make a new common one, similar to what all animals do. Right? We all breed with each other we don't breed just for what, like we breed for what is it?
Tell me why we breed.
all kinds of reasons.
we breed for what is it?
This is the longest answer ever.
Yeah, I'm curious.
He's got Becca breathing down his shoulder, and he can feel it.
We breed for resilience in our genetic line. When we encounter, whatever.
Yeah.
And so,
hopefully, that's the idea.
I'm just saying in academia they do, and like in money making farming they do.
Yeah.
but like a
Elon Musk and you just
cancer
want to
patient
repopulate the world.
is breeding for potency or specific reasons.
Cannabis throws a shit ton of seeds, and it's very prolific in its ability to be resilient, and so it wants to spread its genetics, so to speak.
A lot of times by accident, right? We've all been there.
Yeah. And that makes it, resilient. And so, I mean, you're probably better off having 12 males and 12 females. And if you're going to actually do a breeding project, you're going to get way, 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 way stronger results. You're going to breed for more.
Well, if you really want to open up a genetic, for sure.
Yeah, you're going to open up a lot of stuff. You're going to find stuff that you wouldn't otherwise find, because you're limiting the genetic potential so much by only taking one or two males out of 5,000 males on that plant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I was that's like I wanted to call it something different than what a straight F2, because it was a mini open pollination, but it wasn't really an open pollination open pollination, like you're saying, should be like 15, 20, 500 plants. That's an open pollination.
It's a micro.
Yeah, it's like a micro, but I don't know what else to call it,
I'm just saying, like because like if you were to, it's about selection. So like it would be like, well, now you can't back cross to what maybe gave you that smell. You don't, unless you keep all of it around. You know what I'm saying? Like
original one.
the
Well,
guy
that was
that
the point. Is I
pops
wanted to,
15 males and 15 females has to keep 15 males and 15 females around to
Right.
try to figure out what it made that smell.
Plant outs.
'Cause-
well, that was kind of my
Or-
game
yeah.
plan. That was my game plan with the open pollination. My mini one was to make that little 5-pack into a 50-pack, so I could open it up and really go through it and find the vortex that I like best.
Yeah, that's why I like the name Project V on that.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to.
Yeah, I only
sidetrack
named
here.
2 other ones.
Becca, I've got a birthday present for you. We need to meet up soon.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is it hash time?
Yeah. Ding, ding,
Hash
ding.
time.
Where's the cowbell?
I've got to be very quiet with it tonight.
There it
I'm on
is.
the wrong side.
Need some more cowbell,
We'll
man.
hit it.
Don't wake the baby.
Yeah, babies,
Get in trouble.
wives, daughters, everybody. Yeah.
And we're all gonna miss it because we don't have another show for a whole week, and Becca's birthday is only in 3 days. So happy birthday, Becca.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Oh,
Becca.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Becca.
birthday, Becca.
Yeah. Friday.
For Girly reminded me.
I'm not gonna remind you on Friday though, just to let you know.
Oh man.
Oh.
He's gonna do
Better
you
be
like
the first
that.
one.
Dang.
Oh, I've been talking to his wife. Come on.
Yeah, man. I get the inside info.
Amy's my friend.
Cheers to wifey.
She's about to have a baby. What the heck? For Groli, congrats, almost soon. That's
Yeah, I got a little Mr. Fergoli on the way.
Gonna pop out wearing a white Fergoli shirt and a hat.
Hell yeah.
We might just swaddle him up in a Fergoli blanket or something real quick,
Oh yeah, he's gonna be wearing a hat before you know it. You're probably gonna put it. You're gonna ask the doctor, what's the earliest I can put a face sticker tattoo on him?
We got him ready, man. We got thousands of them ready.
Yeah.
I have to laugh, and he's gonna be a hairy boy. Let's just put it that way, because you can see it on certain ultrasounds and stuff. Like, it's got. I don't know. Did anybody else come out with like a full head of hair? Because I don't think I did. I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh yeah.
Back.
I believe both you guys did. Jesus, look at that.
I think me or my brother did. I forget one of us.
my hair was jet black, right? And if you knew me as a baby, which none of you guys did, but I had white blonde hair. So all my black hair fell out, and then I had a blonde halo.
Oh, little baby hairs.
That's
awesome.
crazy.
She thought she had a chimpanzee at first. Watching Daddy
Have
Red.
you guys done the 23andMe or whatever it's called, and like seeing how much Neanderthal you are?
Yeah, but
It's so fucking trusting, man. It's fucking amazing.
It's crazy. I would not do that.
I looked it up.
all that.
I looked it up, Spartan. They don't own your shit. Like that's not true.
No, they give it up to the government.
Oh, so I guess all the news stories that said they just caught that fucking
The news. Yep.
that famous murderer dude by fucking tracking down his fucking cousin through the fucking
Which one now?
DNA he submitted to the
I thought you were talking about the Idaho guy.
ancestry.
I haven't
sites.
murdered anybody, so I think.
Yeah, but
Girl,
what if
Well,
you're
not
good.
yet, but it doesn't mean that your whole life you're not going to. Jesus.
I already got arrested. They got all your DNA you
I
want.
remember hearing a news article about almost 3 years ago now that came out and has been completely proven with a completely different news article very recently.
Oh, I know what you're talking
What?
about.
Probably
Yeah, do we want to get the stream demonetized?
Information changes. Information just seems.
Look up the Department of Energy and what they found out recently. Let's just start there. I
Yeah,
assume
that's it. That's
okay.
the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
What
And
they
people
found
ask-
out, they
Let's
found
talk
out what was
about- wait,
already, we
hold on.
already knew.
This is the Late Sesh. What are we talking about?
The Department of Energy is pretty. They have a lot of scientists working for them. They scoop a lot of people up before they even get their PhDs and decide to hire them while they get their PhDs, so they can train them in certain sectors to work for, including
Energy.
math, physics,
before they
and
get
biology.
by all Oh,
No,
street foot.
No, they literally have they Department of Energy does testing in what a pandemic scenario would look like, right? And they have physics biologists and mathematicians, etc., that work on these certain problems and these certain theoretical scenarios, right? So
I wish
they
they'd
are
work on the power grid in Michigan. That'd be sweet.
right, dude. I feel you. It's all these damn commercial grows. I'll tell you what.
Should have theoretically figured out the market.
Well, that's probably less science and biology and a little bit more math and economy and, and history.
Back to the science and biology.
Okay, that's less. I know less about that. Someone else pick it up from there. Department of Energy.
I gotta bail, guys. I gotta bail though because I got called into work early, so I need to get off an hour early. Unfortunately, but
cheers, man.
All right, Spartan.
It was cool hanging with you guys. See you guys
All
later.
right.
Keep
See
growing.
ya. I'm excited to see.
Why is he bailing us now that we're talking about this? He's still here.
He knows something.
I want to see what they do with fission.
I didn't know.
Fission or fusion?
Fission. Fusion's old school. Now they got fission, and
Fusion's so
they tested it and got. I think they put in 2 megawatts and got 3 megawatts out. It's the first time in history we put in energy and got more out.
And we got that big of a return? That's a significant return, man.
Yeah, well, I think that was an example given. This was a really small scale control because that's the thing now is how we're gonna do it on a big scale safely.
Right.
Because it's heating to like the hot of the sun or something like that.
Yeah.
Something crazy. I don't understand, but I just know it's a big jump in energy technology.
What's the cause for generating that much power? What's the
city centers, man? We're turning all of the buildings electric.
What's the
source?
How do they get? Yeah, what's the source of the electricity they put into that?
So like the source, it wouldn't matter mathematically after a while if you could get the fission good enough. You would just need to start pumping up. Yeah, you'd be using it. Yeah, we probably have to use some fossil fuels. We probably use nuclear, coal, gas, but then eventually the math would add up where you're just reusing your own fission extra.
The return on your investment.
Yeah, so like
50%.
yeah, it would be like so
right, because if you're constantly getting 50% returns, how long does that take to get that ROI to basically? I know there's
at the very least we're alleviating the other industries that can't keep up, sometimes and charge us 1.5 times during the summer.
What about risk versus reward? Is there a risk?
That's the thing. That's what it's just like when nuclear came around and stuff. I think this is to me it sounds safer than nuclear because at least we don't have from what I understand, there's no waste. There's no radioactive 1,000-year half-life
is
we
this
need to go take care of.
Is it like if
I'm not a scientist at all.
Waste product, it's a like hole in the earth product. Is that the thing?
Those
it would be. I think this would be more like.
Dude, that's right by our house.
Like I think it would be more like crater in the earth because it's a big explosion or something would happen. I don't know.
Moving, dude.
Yeah, we drove past there.
So
like if you could put it out in the desert where no one lives or something like that.
Yeah, that's where these deep wells should be, dude. Honestly, it was
not directly next to city centers.
So here's where they're sending Ohio waste to Houston and Detroit. Get the fuck out of here. Why isn't there one of these fucking waste centers out in the middle of fucking nowhere in no man's land? That's what we need. That's the type of infrastructure that we should be working on. Removing like the waste centers from where civilization is at, especially like the abundant civilization that Detroit and Houston contain. What do we have? 3 million people in Detroit. And that's just Detroit. It's not even going to Detroit. It's going to Van Buren Township, which is
Wayne County,
pretty much where we are.
Yeah,
we're in Waukesha County, but
this is where the airport is
3 miles away from us. And so they halted it. So but they've already brought in a handful of truckloads to dispose of it, and not to mention that they've been disposing radiation waste from all over the country right here, for many years. And then I'm looking up local spills. There's a automotive factory up in Wixom that has actually spilled twice now into the Huron River. You shouldn't eat fish out of the Huron River because there's dye toxins and they're still testing for them. There's some big chemical that got released this past August in the Huron River, but then in 2018, the same company spilled a bunch of shit in the Huron River too. So basically,
how do you spill something into a river?
I don't know. They're dumping and something got into their dumping and
talk about the Asable military installation.
You can't fish east of Loud Dam anymore because of how bad. Well, that was a couple years ago. You couldn't.
They've ruined it all over, but
that's on the Asaba River.
That's run off like 20 years ago, guys.
I'm just saying, all over the country, they got red algae in Florida from the sugar plants. It's all over. I think the thing is we just gotta figure out ways not to make waste and solve the problem. But
I looked into it. Like apparently, it's below all the aquifers and under like 2 layers of impermeable stone,
rock or whatever.
But like rock is. So, like, eventually it would get through, right?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about?
It's the deep wells. Okay, so the deep wells that we're gonna pump this shit down into. That's just gonna
never have to worry information about, that they gathered. What? 6 years ago? Like, how old is this technology?
It's rock and then the aquifers. Like, if it's just gotta get through.
What happens if we have I don't know, earth shifting or something? I don't know.
That's I think. Yeah, that's what I think everyone's
fracking right now. They're fracking.
Those people will be dead, long gone. They don't give a shit.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah. But that's why you can't really control any of that. I mean,
you can't. We can move.
We can vote, move,
fuck out of the area,
and you can reduce your personal waste, which you guys are like doing really good job of. Closing loops and stuff like that. Get you some. My goal. I got 1.5 acres, and a lot of it's sunny, so I'm trying to get solar and wind out in that big old open area in the next 5-10 years to where maybe I can be off consumers, but if I can get 50% off consumers, fuck them. That's
expensive, man.
If you
but like if I can just save up little by little, get a big panel here, big panel there, get the batteries. But it's and maybe maybe they'll make a breakthrough. I'll tell you right now, I charged these. I got these in November, I think, or September. It was either November or September. And I just charged them the other day, and they were at 30%. And I use them every day and everything. They made a leap in battery technology recently, so I'm hoping solar things go down, like battery banks for those things. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah, I mean,
look at AAAs and shit. That shit used to be like ungodly technology, and now it's in the dollar store at every corner. So I don't know. I'm an optimist though in that crap. So I like those. Have you seen the windmills that you can get that they say you can get for houses? And they're like really skinny tree looking ones.
You said something about wind and solar, and I had never thought to put wind in my backyard. So tell me about this.
Why not? Okay, when I
look at wind, dude, I think about up in the thumb where these things are literally the size of my property. Like,
imagine like a telephone pole, right? Maybe not as tall. Let's say it's 15 feet tall.
No, that's not very.
But tall. you got a pole, and just around it is like a long, almost half the length of it. Long, skinny, like turbine. There's 3, with a slit in between each, kind of like some of our glass tools and stuff. So the turbine just catches wind and spins around the post, but it doesn't take up much space.
I know.
And they paint the thing that spins green, and they paint the other thing brown, so it kind of looks like a tree. And boom, you put like a patch of those to block your neighbor, because fuck them. And now you're producing a kilowatt or something. I don't know. And
let's look it up. I'm curious to know how
I'm gonna check it out, because it was one of those not Kickstart, but like one of those like get them, who knows where it went, like projects. It might not have been, flushed out, but I thought they were working on it. And it was
Yeah.
it was supposed to be really good for urban areas where you can put them on
Right.
rooftops.
Well, I was gonna say, especially in farmlands, like there's so much wind as it is,
Yeah.
but, like.
Well, and these aren't tall where the people who complain about the birds, well, the birds don't run into trees. They're going to run into these. I don't know.
Those
Raccoons are
are
gonna
so
run up them.
big. Those are like $1 million each. Those turbines. They're
They're
so
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I just like back to that comment. Like I just keep seeing it in chat and stuff. And what we were talking about is like I know that we're surrounded by the shit, you know what I mean? But we're talking about trying to like grow cannabis, and like if we got a bunch of dioxins in our, like I'm talking about the Huron River, and like that sounds just like a generic river to people. This is our backyard. Okay, this is our backyard is the Huron River. So we have the Huron River and we have this deep well. So, I mean, this isn't like, oh, I'm just bitching about the shit in the area. Like, no, these are both our backyard. So this is our groundwater. This is what my plants are feeding on. You know what I mean? So this means we have no choice. We have to fucking move. You know what I mean? This isn't, oh, everything's fucked. This is, no, we wouldn't be able to pass testing because there's radioactive waste in our fucking ground. You know what I mean? Like,
every time we talk about water, like I think about like people in Flint, and like I don't know how many grows were in Flint at the time, like running on city water and all this stuff, but like cannabis loves to uptake heavy metals and stuff. So I can only imagine what the cannabis look like. The testing results would look like on that.
Where I grew up, I had a playground right by my high school, and that playground was deemed hazardous by the time I was, I don't know, like 23, 24 or something like that. That whole playground had been shut down. There was a skate park. I used to work at the skate park. The skate park used to get loaded with all the dust from the baseball fields and everything that were there. And what they had found was the baseball fields had a bunch of lead in all of the sand. And what was going on is that site was a Wayne County dump site for road crew. And back in the 50s and 60s, they would dump road waste there. So leaded gasoline road waste. So there's tons of lead. After it was a county waste site, it was just a local waste site. Like local people would dump their refrigerators and fucking cars and beds and shit back there. So you'd go back in the woods, go smoke a joint or something, and you'd trip over old bed springs and shit like that back in there, just buried in the ground. You know what I mean? Just tons of rusted shit. But the park was nice, grass and all kinds of shit, until some kids in the neighboring neighborhood started getting sick. And I used to work right there, and I went to high school right there. And that park is still, I believe, condemned. That park had been condemned. It was a very large park. It was a main park of the community. They used to host city fireworks there. All the way until I was like 25 years old, my entire life surrounded this park, dude. And all of a sudden, people started getting sick and shit. And it was after they had built the baseball diamonds and like a lot of this, and they got rid of a lot of the grass, so a lot of the sand started getting done. Mm-hmm. Dude, we were sweeping it out of the bowl every day at the fucking skate park. You know what I mean? And swimming in that dust. I should probably have gotten tested at the time.
It explains a lot, Red. I mean,
probably honestly, man, like it's just been crazy in that area. But that just goes to show, like, you wouldn't be able to grow plants in any of that area, anywhere on that site. You know what I mean? Talk about remediation techniques.
Right. Maybe that's what we need to do is grow plants for a few years.
That's that's why I'm such a big proponent on soil health, rejuvenation, the no-till, fungal, all of this stuff to help remediate this like urban wasteland that I was raised in. Solid, like it's not just a concrete jungle, and it's not just like the industrial, like it is like a wasteland. You know what I mean? Literally waste. I used to always be told not to go swimming in the Rouge River, and I'd joke about it, and I'd be down there fucking jumping off the rope swing in the Rouge River. No fucking big deal, dude. No, the Rouge River is a fucking gnarly spot. Don't go swimming in the Rouge River, man. You probably get cancer, because that's like if you eat the fish in the fucking Huron River, is cancerous chemicals, like hazardous cancerous chemicals. Yeah, just don't even go swimming. It's a very, very popular river for like tubing and stuff like that, and I'd be ill advised fucking do any tubing from here on at this point, just because of that. That most recent Wixom plant spill that really fucked things up. They're still finding those. It is called something. I got to pull it. I'm not gonna fuck with whatever that chemical is, but not to be too much of like down and out. I mean, like grow mushrooms, man. Like we can remediate our soil. We can remediate the areas plants are gonna grow. It just takes some time.
Chucking
There's
seeds on
some
the
fungi
banks.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That I think ate radioactive waste or something like that. Or they found a microbe or something that could do it.
Yeah, some sort of bacteria that just chomped
Yeah.
through it or something.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that's good. I remember the Japan meltdown.
Yeah.
Fukushima.
They were using cannabis to suck up some radiation.
Oh, really? I
remember reading an article about that. There, because cannabis is really good. I think they were using a closer thing to hemp, but it was
I saw some photos of it, like very, very densely planted.
Yeah, but yeah,
another area up there that had like an oil spill or some shit like that. They're using hemp as well, in the same. Maybe it was. I don't think it was Thailand. I think it might have been Japan also. But what year was that?
Then is it in the plant tissue, or do they remediate it to something?
Yeah,
else?
That's what we were wondering when I remember talking about the article. What does the plant somehow get rid of it, or is it in the plant now? They're able to take the plant and dispose of that, so at least it's not in the ground.
It's essentially a way of without having to disrupt the soil and
that one was scary though.
Like Red was talking about all that stuff blowing into the air and going, traveling spaces. But the people having to actually move it all and where you're going to store it, it's just a more mass, right? Whereas if you have a plant that can fight or remediate it, it might take a little bit more time, but it's going to be a little bit probably safer way of doing it,
Yeah, and you may have to ship it out to the middle of nowhere where that plant is safe away from people, but let's do it. I get you.
That's why mushrooms would probably be better, because I don't think that I think they convert it into more natural elements. I don't think
that'd be sweet. Some filtration.
You guys were talking yesterday about the different substrates and stuff for growing psilocybin, and I looked it up recently, like if mushrooms would uptake glyphosate, and it was saying that they don't. From what I saw, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think like some things they don't. I think they convert it into different things. So
there's something with that with fungus, where like it doesn't get stored as the compound; it converts into does some sort of biochemistry, where it converts it into a new compound or molecule or something. I don't know, but maybe plants are doing that also. And so maybe there's some of that going on, some kind of a bioconversion.
Maybe it reduces it to some extent, but I know we can still test for it and find it there, Yeah, maybe half-life court.
But like let's say you then compost those plants, right? Let's compost it and feed it to worms. Let worms then, go through and then maybe half-life it again, and then feed that into a fungal dominated, thing. I think your best bet with like an ecological wasteland is to start giving it microbes, right? Start just
forcing an environment to be healthy.
Feeding it healthy, feeding it whatever, both balance of bacterial, fungal microbes, get the fungal properties up, give it a ton of biological stuff, and grow shit. You know what I mean? Put all of whatever waste into plant tissue, not necessarily consumable plant tissue, but plant tissue that can then be further broken down, remediated, turned back into bio waste. And I think and then hit it with the mushrooms that can then convert it into something a little more eco-friendly.
What this sounds like, Red? It sounds like gut health to me, like antibiotics versus probiotics versus
probiotic for the
kimchi and all that kind of stuff
for the planet.
Yeah, for the planet. I know I didn't make it all the way. Unfortunately, I got to jet out early too, guys. I got to get up a little bit early tomorrow, but I hate to leave you guys hanging, which is the three of you, but I know you can handle it. But I want to throw this idea out there too to Red and Becca, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and listen to it. Baked, Red, Becca, we talked about this last night, talking about fungi and mushrooms and how there's different strains and different levels, if you will, different effects. I said maybe it's like there's psilocybin, which is equivalent to THC, and maybe there is some sort of terpene or something in those fungi that create some sort of modulating or entourage or whatever kind of effect you want to call it that gives you a different experience than the same gram of mushrooms you had from some other vendor, right? Like a couple weeks ago. I'm going to leave that thought here and come back to it and listen, but I can see, I feel like Becca's got something to say too. Have a good night, guys. I appreciate it.
What's up, man? Have a good night.
I was just going to say that we had a conversation with Mrs. Vicious once. She's pretty cool. And she was saying that there's a lot of compounds, a lot of different things, terpenes in mushrooms that are going to affect the experience. And so that's just about all I know, but there definitely are. And I think it's just beginning. They're just beginning to discover what they are, similarly to cannabis, you know?
Yeah, we're supposed to.
That's what she said last night, that lady, and Rachel. And she said some beta something. And that got me all excited because I'm like, well, shit, you know. And then she said now they're testing for psilocybin, which means right around the corner they're going to test for those things. You know, they're going to find them out and test just like terps. We didn't know what terps were 25 years ago. Or
There's a couple spots. There's a couple spots in Ann Arbor and whatnot that you can low key get psilocybin.
She's one of them now. Deep Roots, her
she's
company. So she's in Ann Arbor. So that was cool. And then she said,
okay, all right. I know what's going on now. Okay, because I was talking to my homie that works with and all right, okay, and he was saying that the thing, and then that all makes sense now, and how she can get her leaf samples tested for the viroids. Oh, it all makes sense. Okay, cool, right on.
Yep. Yeah, her lab is connected to the same one that'll test for psilocybin. It's not her, but
I know, yeah.
So it's the same thing, and
all good people.
So yeah, they do all kinds of stuff, sex tests.
My stuff tested with.
She told us about a new microgrow I hadn't heard of in Yipsy, and I forget what she said it was called. What is it called?
I looked at the menu. It sounds like
it is a micro business, and they have their own grow, but they can also buy other products. So it's like that different.
That's cool.
It's the different version of the micro business.
It is a good.
The newest version, yeah.
Wana, they've got MKX, they've got.
So it is it's a good model to be able to have other products on the shelf, but just a heads up, you know, they do have those other products on the shelf.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
Well, if they could sell between micro businesses, that'd be way cooler.
They might be able to. I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's what they should have. If anything, yeah. Not that I hate to say forced, but like that way the market is forced into small business. It's like, well, now you're dealing all small business.
Man, I am honestly with that said, I don't really see the necessity.
But I've talked to Eric from Winewood. They've made them jump through fucking hoops. The township, the state. It's ridiculous that I'm so happy they've made it, and like they're doing well. But like if they really pull you around at that level.
If they would have still allowed, you know, commerce between micro businesses to occur, you know, brokers would still be, you know, able to have a thing in it, you know, transport, all that stuff could still have a thing in it. Really nobody would be affected except for the, I guess, profiteering side of things where people wouldn't be able to like open up, you know, 7,000 plant grows, which I think is a drain on. I think I just think that size. I think
we don't need that.
I think that anything centralized is just a waste of resources, right? I think that that's just my opinion on stuff, and I think there should be more.
Except waste disposal.
More production, you know, in just smaller quantities.
True.
So
let's centralize that in the middle of nowhere. But
if you had more producers, you know, there'd be a lot more focus on margins and things. There'd be a lot less waste. You know, there wouldn't be overproduction. Yeah. You know what I mean? There'd be a better split. You know, there'd
be better genetics.
Might have to go elsewhere.
To be honest,
but you know,
I think you have
rewarding job.
Way more educated consumers, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because it would have so many more variations going on. Like let's say there was 500 microgrows and they all had to sell to each other or sell their own stuff. That was the rule, you know. And man, could you imagine the variation of all these guys popping their own packs at their own stores, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna instantly, well, no, I went up there and I had something that tasted way good, you know. And then you go, so it's gonna almost, I feel like it would force consumers to get, I hate to say the word smarter, but they would catch on quicker.
What we had,
get ahead quicker.
What we really had in Michigan was like this almost like farmers market community where there was a lot of artisans, there still is. There's a lot of artisans, crafters, and people who make various products that would still pass testing. And they are like a lot of these people got licenses and they're doing great and have great products. What really ended up happening, like rather than there being such a great variety and such of like a vast amount of like competition, you know, so everybody would do well and like a great amount of like stuff for like patient, you know, like a whole bunch of different stuff on the shelf patients to have. We kind of got left with like different clusters regionally placed based on, you know, politics and the different zones. Like it took forever. Detroit finally opted in like 5 years later. And, you know, Battle Creek's jumping, Ann Arbor's jumping, surrounding areas around Detroit are jumping until Detroit opts in. And I'm interested to see what happens in all the Ferndale, Hazel Park, and all these areas that are opted in right now that have been jumping on the border of Detroit after Detroit goes wreck and floods that area with low price cannabis. Like, how is Hazel Park and those surrounding areas are they going to be able to keep up with that market? Because the Detroit market, I worked in the Hazel Park market, and what we saw mostly was either out of state or people in town, out of state, in town, in Detroit for business, for sports, for whatever, but in Detroit. And so that's that surrounding areas market is the Detroit market. Once Detroit has shops downtown and people staying in from out of town don't have to travel outside. Oh, get it out, buddy. Don't have to travel outside of that downtown area. They're not going to be going up into those neighborhoods to have to go get their cannabis. It's a far cheaper Uber ride just a couple hotels away. But what we've gotten aside from these clusters is all the stores are the same. There's nothing really different. You know, there might be they might be decorated a little bit differently. You know, there might be slightly aesthetically, maybe your wait time is a little bit different. A lot of them have adopted a lot of the same stuff. They've gone to a digital ordering system, maybe off a screen or maybe off a tablet or something. There's rarely any type of what is it called? That we do. It'll come to me again. But anyways, there's rarely any type of like display jar style or like displays on the walls. Deli style. Like there's
deli. Okay, yeah.
Not allowed. You know, pick and choose. You know, a few buds here, a few buds there. So anyway, and obviously, you know, for whatever, is it for better? Maybe for regulation purposes, away from the hands of the idle hand of the consumer or whatever. You know, but these clusters and basically the way the market's kind of panned out, all of the stores sell the same products. They're all the same store. It's the same store designed a little bit different with a little bit of a different ebb and flow, but they're the same
menu.
Same menu, you know.
Yep.
And that's what the market's become, rather than it being craft artisans having their own little store with like, you know, their own niche of this one's a little bit tone dark. You
can only get this when you come here to this town because you can go. Yeah,
dude, they use different ingredients.
I think it made it like so the focus is on how much it is then at each place. You know, like who has it the cheapest. If it's all the same.
Yeah.
Who's got it? That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of them are just looking for a buzz. That's the thing, and it's like
or they're just trying to have some kind of
It's a Walmart, Target, Meyer mentality.
But I think
and a Meyer all next to each other, and they all sell the same.
I think
product.
eventually the terps speak for themselves, and the people will learn like, man, that was just like the last time, or that was that was tasteless.
Yeah,
I want some, and they're gonna start going into those places and be like, I want some tasty. And if they can't get it, they're gonna go find it at like caregiver events, and stuff like that.
How
And
many companies are actually just growing Blue Dream or a variation of something that'll just yield out, and then they're throwing 6 different names on it? You know?
oh yeah, well, yeah. That today it's all your seed junkie and jealousies and stuff like that.
So just grow it out and
It's
just
a shit, bro. To be honest, it's a shit ton of gelato. To me,
Yeah,
there's so much gelato in
run.
the genetic pool out there in the legal market. I just smell. I'm like, what does this smell like? Oh, let me smell it.
Yeah,
Oh, so like kind of like gelato.
yeah.
I'm just like, okay,
Well,
well that's
everybody
nothing.
wants.
That's nothing new at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they want. And that's what still sells. And that's the crazy part. It's like, okay.
It tells me that as soon as something different, better comes along, or just something different comes along, it's gonna like make a serious shockwave, because it's been this like gelato wave for a really long time.
Yeah, well, I think now what you need to find the golden ticket would be something that's within, let's say, 65 or less days flour, and that's like no fuck arounds. That's proper readiness at like 65 at the most. It needs to be a sativa high. It needs to be a get you through the day, hit a vape pen, and it gets you up instead of drinking coffee high. And
I just don't see them, man. Yeah,
because that's what a lot of other people are asking for the consumers is like, we want the sativas,
they want
we
a
want the
sativa
uppers.
high at 31% THC.
Exactly, that's the problem. Their education tells them they still want. I want sativa, but I want a potent sativa. Well,
Yeah.
a proper potent sativa actually doesn't have high THC. It's
the
the terps
THC
that are
gonna
get you
knock
there.
your ass out in about 40 minutes.
What sucks?
Yeah,
They can't smell it. They can't taste it. They can't get any
yeah.
idea of what it is. So they're going off numbers. They're going off things.
That's a good point, because let's compare. You go, like I was saying earlier, you go to a town and they might have a brewery, an IPA brewery or something. That's if you're not willing to travel to that town, you're not getting that beer. It's not in every store. But you can go into that tavern or whatever, and you can get a sample of that beer right there. You can literally get probably a shot glass worth of beer and no problem, and be like, okay, yeah, I want that one.
Try
But can you do it in cannabis? Nope.
And you know what you can also do, dude, is you could go to your local liquor store and go, hey, man, do you have whatever brewery is up north? And they're like, no, we don't. But let me see if they sell 6-packs, or let me see if they sell quarter barrels or something. And they might get that micro brewery's beer downstairs.
Yeah, but good luck doing that at Dispo. Yeah.
At a Dispo,
That's true.
So it's just limiting the customer, and so it takes time for people
them to get tired and bored,
to realize that weed is sticky, dude.
Yeah.
First time I felt weed and it was sticky, and I was like,
bro,
yeah,
we were checking phenos today, me and TJ at work, and we were walking. We did Mac Burger. I brought a pack of Mac Burger, and they're not too like smelly. There's nothing that I'm like, oh man, like but they all are so ungodly sticky. I was so impressed that I can't wait to see how they finish. And this is like day 40s, I think.
I think there's a huge disconnect in that too, man. Like there's just the quality disconnect. But what I saw it a lot in working in the shops, where there's a understanding disconnect. Just everybody just wants, and I get it, because like having all these different varieties. The problem is in the shops, the varieties don't really mean anything, because they're all 31%, and they all kind of have the same there's a little bit of a variation in flavor. There's some good stuff. It all kind of just, like you said, just tastes like gelato, or just has like a basic like OG kind of
like
gas type of a
gas. So yeah.
But you know, what's failed to like recognize is that like there's like different chemical responses going on when the different terpene and cannabinoid profiles kind of hit, right? So what a lot of people are getting off of like a sativa, you know, like a true sativa, you know, in my mind should be like a little closer related to like hemp, has a longer flowering, is like, you know, probably a lighter in color, is a little longer, maybe bud structure, a little more leafy. It's got maybe some citrus or pine type notes to it, and just kind of has like this you know, lower potency to it. Might even have a little bit of CBD in it, but just has this like euphoric, uplifting, not overwhelming, not kicking you in the ass feeling, because I think that THC and the CBD's balancing enough out in there that when you get into these hybrids that they're calling sativas, that they're saying this is a sativa, but really it's a hybrid. It's an Afghani hybrid with a 31% THC, or an Indian hybrid or something with 31% THC that has these like, it might be, you know, heavier, stronger bud structure, far more, you know, trichomes, a little more sandy and shit like that, but it's a little more racy. I think that the raciness off of that type of thing, that's not sativa, that's THC. That's high THC. That's anxiety. That's racy THC behavior, because that's just an unnatural thing that we've selected for.
You need the other parts to modulate it.
And what ends up happening is about 40 minutes into it, when you really metabolize, because, you know, THC metabolize this thing, right? It comes in, you're like, holy shit, I feel it right away. But like, it only lasts for so long. It creeps up. That's another thing that a sativa will kind of do, is a sativa will creep the fuck on. And so you'll go, oh, I feel this. And so you'll keep smoking that fucker. But about 20 minutes later, that first hit finally creeps in. You're like, holy shit, now I'm high. And then 20 minutes later, then you really get fucking high. Those are sativas. But the rip you in the ass hits you right away. And you're like, holy shit, I'm so fucking high. And you think it's a sativa. You're like, oh, I don't want to smoke that again. But really, in my mind, those are those indica hybrids that are like overly potent. And
like
then
GMO.
Yeah. And then it just takes a while for it to catch up. And then it just crushes you. And you're just like, I don't know why these sativas don't do it anymore. It's because it's not the profile that you're looking for. Like, you're giving it too much gas, you know, literally. Oh, nice one. Literally giving it too much gas pedal with the THC. Not enough steering wheel, not enough brake, you know, not enough idle, whatever, you know what I mean? Burning out that clutch.
You know, the crazy part? We're kind of one of the further ahead states, because I talk to people in Florida, and and then you look at some of the newer states that have legalized medically, or what, you know, aren't, you know, we're 10 years into what, legalization medically, or what is it, 12?
We had a good medical where we were able to like talk about stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How restricted, like, they're still restricted in like places like Ohio.
It's like, Florida has medical. It's a trash medical.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the people are happy. The majority of the customers are like, this is banging. And my theory is they're very old. They haven't smoked in literally 30 years. They have the capital to spend. So like, and their tolerance is so low that like, that $60, you know, half gram or whatever of some concentrate or something lasts them forever. So it's really a weird scenario of like having to educate people retroactively as states go legal.
Yeah.
And think of how many states aren't even legal that yet, because I noticed it's a pattern, and it's all these same companies, these big ones like Trulieve and Cureleaf. They're chains. Like, I remember when I left Florida, which was 2020, I think, Trulieve had like 13 states and Cureleaf had like 15 or something. That's a huge chain. And at the time, that was almost every legal state. So like, it's just like they get in there, and those were the ones lobbying in Florida. So I'm sure they're lobbying elsewhere.
Yeah.
They get in there and they lobby to get a place, and then they keep it the same.
My guess is
so
that
nobody else can play their game, and they charge out the wazoo. It's trash. It's, in terms of quality, but that's the problem is everyone's behind.
Cited it's legal. They're like, yippee.
That's exactly. It's like the honeymoon phase of legalization that lasts for each state. I don't know, 5 to 10 years. You never know. It's like, so how do you defeat that? But yeah.
I think Curaleaf just got in some trouble in some states for having some connections to, what is it? Criminal activity.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. That they were always getting in trouble, the two big companies down there. And you know what was really weird? I got my card one time. It's a 6-month or 7-month period. It was like $180 every time you do that. And I got my card, and like you would go, Cureleaf opened. I remember I was like, it was near my house. I was like, sick. I don't have to go across town anymore. And it opens, and I swear, 6 months, that whole 6 months, you couldn't, I didn't walk in there once and get what I wanted or what the internet said they had. And it was always, I walked out of there multiple times without anything because they didn't have any bud. They didn't have it. It was the weirdest, what do they call it? Not linear system. Because the company that owns the dispo owns the transport, owns the farm, vertical. Yeah, they made it so vertical, and then they only gave out like 8 licenses.
Wow.
And so like there's only 2 companies that had like the crazy investors to just off rip have stores come out and have farms and all that. And that was Curaleaf and them, but they still weren't able to supply it. It was the weirdest situation.
Well,
but
I guess they just I don't want to speak too much for them because I have no idea, but I heard through the grapevine that they might have shut down or lowered the staffing on some of their stores here, which I'm guessing that they were part of it. I'm guessing they were part of like I'm just throwing out there guessing.
Oh yeah. They probably were.
CMA, those unknown few.
In Florida, they were like there wasn't a MCMA, and so it was just like them. It was basically like the companies trying. We knew it. We knew it was them trying to keep it the way because they had all the control and everything. It was really weird that like they set it up that way. And nobody along the whole process was like it doesn't seem odd to you guys that we're only giving out 8 licenses.
Like competition, I don't really care that all these huge businesses exist, but it's like for the sake of just like I don't know. I just don't think any industry should be that big.
The problem I have it with it, and you probably have the same feeling maybe, is coming from like, growing from a long time ago. Before legalization, the industry didn't exist. Cannabis industry in America didn't exist. It's illegal everywhere. There's no industry. It's all illicit. Nobody's working together. I mean, you might send clones to your buddy that you met somewhere, but you're not making a storefront and all that stuff. So
talking like this.
Or yeah, exactly, talking like this.
Just to be able to just like take up city blocks of just like waste centers, it's like okay, maybe if you're a company and you just have like thousands of little micro businesses scattered throughout the world, I mean, hey, whatever, dude. If you're multi-trillionaire off of that and you're fucking an awesome philanthropist at, helping out the communities all over in all those little areas, that's fucking sweet. But like these companies are just like trashing areas with their waste.
Well, that's what I was getting at is damn, I almost forgot. Oh, we had the opportunity to create the industry however we fucking wanted. I mean, not like we have the power to do that, because there's regulation and voting and all that. What I mean is the slate was open, and we didn't have to include these giant corporations. We didn't have to include sleazy marketing or bullshit growing, and unfortunately it got in, which it was a powerful force, and it's like, damn. That's why I really, it's like, damn, man. It could have been you know, if we would have, I don't know what we could have done, but it's like if in a different reality, where the little guys won and all the government were like, no, we're gonna make all the rules lean towards small business.
So we kind of
that would be sick.
So we got this one little thing, right? And so and I'm still totally in agreement with you, Bake, because I want to be able to like be part of our like city's commerce board and like host little like fun parties that like the Subway owner and like all the random little stores are all at, including the mayor. And
what about a pancake?
You know, all that
free pancake dinner for the local school.
Exactly.
You know, I want to be able to do that with some of my grow funds or something. You know,
municipal fucking organization in the down. You know, that's all, you know, stuff aspiring businesses want to do. So for that reason, it fucking sucks. But I don't want to get too far off on the tangent because the point is we can't. And I want all the politicians and all cops and all you guys just close your ears. I can just close your ears. Don't listen to what I'm about to say, because what we had for a really, really long time was a thriving underground commerce. We had this beautiful community, which seemingly is kind of like evaporating, but it's really not. There's just like this, like it's like more like an acid, you know what I mean? Where it's just kind of bubbling, fizzling, and all this like fuck is leaving.
What's going on?
Getting the fuck out, evaporating off. But there's still the base, you know what I mean? And the base is still fucking strong and fucking holding tight. And it's like dry ice, you know what I mean? It's gonna stick around for a fucking while. And like all the fuck off is fucking off, you know what I mean? And let them beat and pound the shit out of each other to the bottom, dirty bottom. But what is ended up happening is through all of that fucking smoke and mirrors of regulation and all that fucking garbage is we still have this traditional legacy industry, because a lot of us have been doing this shit for a really long time, long before there was any legalization, because we believed that this was the right thing to do. And now with legalization, a lot of us it's made a lot of our pipelines a little bit easier to work with. Maybe our markets aren't the same, and maybe we have to do a little bit more work, and we have to do something.
Exactly.
We can still exist in this pseudo legal structure that we had, and it's just a little bit more protected, but you know, we don't get to play ball with the municipal pals at the, you know, community social gatherings
for now. That's the thing. Like I meant to kind of ask y'all earlier, what do you think about, like, I don't want to say comparing exactly, but maybe like the cannabis goes towards like a wine industry where you kind of get not paid, but you get rewarded for your hard work and passion you can't just mass produce, you know, grapes, because that's Walmart wine. That's Meyer wine, you know. But the guys that really put a passion, they don't have big farms, you know. Some of them probably do, I'm sure, but most of them have manageable farms where they can oversee every vine or walk through, you know, and check everything and give a real passion. And those are the ones selling bottles for, you know, a lot, and talking terroirs and
I got one baked.
You know,
I think I figured it out, dude. Okay.
I think it's gonna be a combination of that mixed with that whole like local IPA thing.
I think I can figure out a way that we can get there, and this is gonna take a herd. You know, we just got a couple little buffaloes.
Yeah. Hey.
Check this out. What if, okay, so my township, they don't want big business coming in. It really doesn't have anything. There's a handful of the marijuana is coming to get me. There's a few of those people, right? But most of the people are like, fucking A, it's good money making, but fucking A, they're gonna destroy our town with the big business, and if we allow it, they're gonna bring it in. So they're opted out, right? And 2/3 of the state, for those that don't know, Michigan's a big old fucking mitten of a state with a big old upper half up here that's like twice as big. And we have this huge state, and only like little bitty clusters are legal and allowed to like actually have access. And it's so disproportionate to to the whole fucking.
Well, I think it's proportionate population density.
And it somewhat reflects that. And what if what if, okay, all right, so what if all these scared townships that are afraid of the big business and afraid of all that coming in, what if, okay, now here's the other thing. My township, that is a red zone, okay? My township's a red zone. Now, my township also voted in favor. This is just a subsection of the entirety of Prop 1. I looked at county to county and then city to city. My city independently had a 60% yes vote on Prop 1. That means that of the 2,000 residents in our little township, 60% of those people want the cannabis businesses listed in Prop 1, right? So I think that township, because the people of the township during Prop 1, the original vote, voted yes for that, I think that they should have to enact a license for micro businesses. Micro businesses solely. That's
what I thought you were getting at, and I agree. I don't understand why, if you can make up your own rules, why don't you just say then we want only micro business, or we only want small marijuana businesses, and then the people who come in, and to me it's like, and this sounds like crazy intrusive, but it's a choice. If you want to, let's say I'm a township guy and I'm making the rules and I want to keep it small business, and I'm like, okay, Red, you want to come in and be a small business? Can I look at your finances? I just want to make sure you don't have some shell corporation connected to Curaleaf or connected to cookies or whatever. Is that, or, so I don't know how you would do that in this day and age, but like prove that you're unconnected to big money. And then, I don't see why we can't do that, because it's your choice to come and do it. If you don't want to do that, go to the next township, because that's what they're doing already. They're already saying, no one, go to the next township.
I think townships can, and I don't know if they can like legally get your information from, but they can like have a conversation with the person.
Can ask. I feel like you could legally ask, and if you were compliant, it's like okay. But that's what I'm saying. The details aren't important. The specific, I mean, it's like the idea of being able to check and then make up your own rules that like I said earlier, lean towards small business, or 100% lean towards small business, and lock out big business.
Yeah.
We don't want to see a Inc. on your name. We want to see a small LLC.
And
I think or something like that.
I think that if
I don't
all
know,
those towns that voted yes, now West Bloomfield, man, I could see that town had a 70% no vote for, right? Okay, so maybe not. Maybe I'm just stereotyping, and I apologize. But let's just say that because of the way that that city is structured, that they did have a 60% or 70% no vote. I would say, then obviously the people clearly voted no cannabis businesses, not even micro businesses do they want in their township, so be it. But any of those townships, any of these little small hickey dicky whatever little townships that we have, if they said yes, I think that municipality should have to write an ordinance that allows at very minimum a micro business.
Oh,
they don't necessarily have they should have to do it. This should be a state mandated thing. I think this is some shit we should fight for, because it would really help open up the commerce of the state. It would really allow a lot of these businesses that are really stuck, blood, sweat, and tears. We have everything into this property, right? That is where we want to be. You know what I mean?
Same here.
Property in a different green zone where there's 50 fucking businesses fighting for a green zone. You know what I mean? How about allow the people that are already grandfathered in and own property in your township to get the businesses like they want to, like other businesses are allowed to do, all businesses. I'm not talking about going and building a huge ass fucking like, whatever, and changing the landscape of the town. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like, this could be as easy as like a house on Main Street. You can have a micro in a house. You
live upstairs just like a comic book store. Lives upstairs and sells out the bottom. I agree wholly.
100%, man. 100%.
We're about to hit the end here soon. Yep. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming and staying so long, but
we're gonna fight the man.
Shout out our sponsors. Dick's Medibles. Check them out. Get you some gummies. But
we're gonna be at the Third Eye Craft Affair this Sunday.
This Sunday I'm off, so I might make it there because I want to check it out.
Yeah,
I saw they were playing some sort of board games or something.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Bingo. I love bingo, so that sounds fun.
That was a fundraiser this last week.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of shenanigans will be in store this week, but there's certainly going to be a lot of fun to be had.
And where's this one?
Fledge.
Pledge up in Lansing. All right.
Yep.
Lansing.
11
Cool.
a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right.
Food.
Bring some cans to get in, or $10 or $20.
$10 or 20
$10.
if you want to donate, but 3 cans if you
Yeah,
just
you can just stop at the store and get 3 cans.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
And but
and it's specials, dude. You could probably give them cat food, man, honestly. And and they'd because it's all pantry stuff, man. There's people who need food for their animals.
Yeah.
Same.
That's very true.
Canned foods, I would obviously suggest recommend human food, but whatever you got laying around.
Yeah, Third Eye
Craft Affair.
Sunday, 11 to 5 at the Pledge.
Some human food people. Yeah. People are
All right, we'll see you later, chat.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.